If you found yourself here watching this video, this is not by coincidence. This moment has been orchestrated by God, and you, yes, you are one of the special ones He has chosen to hear this message. Your journey, your prayers, your waiting, it's all been leading to this divine moment. For years, it may have felt like everything was on hold, like certain doors, blessings, opportunities, answers were shut tight. But hear this with your spirit. Those locked doors are about to fling open overnight. What seemed impossible yesterday will become your reality by God's hand. God is not ignoring you. He's been preparing you. And now a powerful shift is coming to your life. It will be sudden. It will be supernatural. And it will be undeniable. You're not stuck. You're positioned for a breakthrough that only God can bring. Before we go deeper into this life-altering word, I want you to do 3 things that will activate your faith and bless others. Like this video so someone you know may need this exact word. Subscribe to this channel and help us reach our goal of 10,000 subscribers. You'll be part of a global family standing in faith together. Drop the number 66 in the comments. This number represents divine alignment and the opening of long-awaited doors. Get ready, because what's been shut for years is about to open suddenly, and your life will never be the same again. Ladies and gentlemen, there are moments in life when we stand before closed doors, doors of opportunity, breakthrough, and advancement. These doors have remained locked, sometimes for years, despite our prayers, plans, and persistence. But I am here to declare to you today, the doors that were locked for years are about to fling open overnight. Every door, no matter how sealed, has a key. And that key is not always physical. Sometimes it's understanding. Sometimes it's timing. And sometimes it's a simple shift in perspective. The reason many doors stayed shut wasn't because they were stronger than your destiny, but because there was a divine process at work, preparing you for what lies beyond that door. You see, delay is not denial. Many of us have mistaken waiting seasons for wasted seasons. But what looked like inactivity was actually preparation. Every prayer you prayed, every tear you shed, every lesson you learned was laying the groundwork for a rapid release. When the right moment comes, what was locked for years can swing open in a single night. Understand this, what appears to be overnight is never truly overnight. The walls of Jericho did not fall because Israel marched on the 7th day alone. They fell because of 6 days of silent obedience. Your breakthrough will feel sudden to others, but you will know it was the culmination of quiet faithfulness and hidden work. We are often bound by human timelines, but the doors that matter most are governed by divine timing. You may have been told it's too late. You missed your chance. Or that season is over. But when heaven schedules your opening, no earthly authority can cancel it. What was inaccessible yesterday can become inevitable today. Here's the good news. When you are walking in your assignment, when you are aligned with your true purpose, doors will begin to respond to you. Provision will follow vision. Access will follow assignment. You won't have to kick the doors down. They will open at your arrival because you carry the authority of your calling. Finally, no matter who tried to lock you out, whether it was people, systems, or even your own failures, there is a door that no man can shut when God says it's time. The season of closed doors is ending. The season of divine access is here. So get ready. The doors that have been locked for years are about to fling open overnight. And when they do, step through boldly, because what's behind those doors has been prepared for you all along. Every door in life has a key. No matter how massive the door, no matter how long it has been locked, it remains true. Every door is designed to open, but only to the right key. The problem is not the strength of the door. The problem is often our lack of understanding about how to unlock it. Many people spend years standing in front of doors. Doors of opportunity, doors of promotion, doors of healing, doors of breakthrough, and they pray and hope and even knock, but nothing seems to happen. After a while, frustration sets in. We start to believe that the door is not meant for us, or that maybe it was never supposed to open at all. But the truth is, doors don't open simply because we wish they would. They open because we apply the correct key. That key is understanding. In life, understanding is more powerful than effort alone. You can be sincere and still fail if you lack understanding. You can work hard and still remain stuck if you do not know the principles that govern access. Think of it this way: you can have all the strength in the world, but if you are trying to push a door that is meant to be pulled, you will stay frustrated. It's not strength you need, it's insight. Understanding transforms locked doors into open gateways. This is why wisdom is so essential. Many of us are praying for the door to open, but we haven't yet asked for the wisdom to see how it works. Proverbs tells us that wisdom is the principal thing. Therefore, get wisdom, and with all you're getting, get understanding. In other words, the breakthrough you are waiting for is often hidden inside the wisdom you have not yet accessed. Sometimes the key is a strategy. Sometimes it's a relationship. Sometimes it's a moment of clarity where you suddenly see something you never saw before. But one thing is certain: once you have the key, the door must respond. This is a law of life. Locked doors are not there to defeat you. They are there to be unlocked by you. Your job is not just to stand at the door and hope. It is to seek understanding until the door gives way. One of the greatest mistakes we make is assuming that every closed door is a rejection. Some doors are closed because they are waiting for your maturity. Some are closed because they are protecting you from entering too soon. And others are closed because they require a different approach. The closed door is not your enemy. In fact, it is your teacher. It is challenging you to grow, to seek, to ask questions, and to sharpen your discernment. When you gain understanding, something powerful happens. You begin to discern which doors are yours and which are not. Not every door you see is meant for you to enter. Understanding helps you recognize your door, and it gives you the key to open it. You stop wasting energy on doors that are not aligned with your purpose, and you begin to focus on the doors that lead to your destiny. We must also realize that some keys are time sensitive. There are seasons when the key you hold will only work because it is the appointed time. You can have the right understanding, but if you apply it out of season, the door may still resist you. This is why patience is critical. Stay close to the door, stay ready, but wait for the moment when your understanding and your timing align. When that happens, the door will open and it will seem effortless. Mind you, no door is bigger than your purpose. If the door is in your path, it means there is a way through it. You may have to seek counsel, develop new skills, or change your mindset, but there is always a key. Your responsibility is to pursue understanding with everything you have. When you do, doors that once seemed impossible will begin to yield to you. So today, I challenge you to stop being frustrated with the door and start seeking the key. Pray for wisdom. Study the principles that govern your area of struggle. Listen to those who have walked the path before you. Refuse to settle for locked doors. Remember, every door has a key, and your understanding is what unlocks it. One of the hardest things to deal with in life is delay. We are taught to expect results when we work hard, to see rewards when we invest effort, and to reap the harvest after sowing good seed. But sometimes, despite our best efforts, things don't happen when we expect them to. We face delays. Delays in seeing dreams come to pass. Delays in breakthroughs. Delays in answers to prayer. It's easy in those moments to become discouraged and believe that the delay means denial, that because it hasn't happened yet, it won't happen at all. But I want you to understand something foundational. Delay is not denial. In many cases, what looks like a delay is actually divine preparation. It is not a rejection of your promise. It is a refining of your purpose. You are not being ignored. You are being developed. What seems to be standing still is in reality gathering momentum behind the scenes. Think of it like an arrow being pulled back on a bow. The further the arrow is pulled back, the more tension there is, and to an outside observer it may look like the arrow is moving in the wrong direction, away from its target. But the truth is the tension and the pullback are necessary to release that arrow with power and precision. The same is true for you. What feels like a setback is often a setup for a stronger launch. Delay often exposes what we need to build on the inside before we step into the next level on the outside. If you rush into a place of influence or opportunity before your character is fully formed, that blessing can become a burden. Many doors have been opened prematurely only to close again because the person wasn't ready to handle what waited on the other side. So what feels like delay is actually grace. It is God's way of protecting you from arriving too soon and being overwhelmed by the very thing you prayed for. Preparation is the hidden work that produces visible results. You may not see everything that's happening, but trust that something is always happening. Just as a seed must go underground, hidden and unseen before it bursts forth and bears fruit, you too are in a process of unseen development. The deeper the root, the stronger the tree. If you are in the season of waiting, it may be because your foundation is being fortified for what's ahead. Another reason delay comes is to align you with the right circumstances, people, and timing. Sometimes you are ready, but the environment is not. The opportunity may exist, but the pieces are not yet in place for you to walk into it fully prepared. In those moments, patience becomes your greatest weapon. By trusting the process, you allow the bigger picture to come together perfectly so that when the door does open, everything fits and flows as it should. What's amazing is that the very delay you are frustrated with is the thing that sets you up for acceleration later. When preparation and timing align, things can happen so quickly that what took years to seem stuck can turn around in a matter of days. We serve a God who is able to redeem the time. He can restore lost years and open doors so swiftly that you move further in a short time than you thought possible. The years of waiting are never wasted because when your season shifts, acceleration will make up the difference. Do not despise the season of delay. Instead, embrace it as a critical part of your journey. Use this time to sharpen your skills, deepen your faith, and clarify your vision. Look inward and ask yourself, what is this season teaching me? What areas of my life are being strengthened so that I can sustain the blessing when it comes? Refuse to let frustration cloud your focus. Stay faithful where you are, knowing that the preparation you invest now will fuel the acceleration that's coming. Remember, the promise still stands. Delay is not the same as a closed door. It is simply the space where your capacity is expanded and your readiness is solidified. And when the time is right, you will step into what's being prepared for you, not crawling but running, with the wind of acceleration behind you. So today, take heart. The waiting is not wasted. The delay is not denial. It is preparation for a release greater and faster than you can imagine. Your season is coming, and when it does, you will see why you had to wait. We often celebrate breakthroughs when they happen, whether it's a sudden promotion, a miraculous healing, a business that takes off overnight, or a dream that seems to manifest out of nowhere. To outsiders, it looks like things changed instantly, almost magically. People will say that happened so fast, or you're lucky, but what many fail to realize is that what appears to be an overnight success is rarely truly over. In fact, overnight breakthroughs are always built on unseen foundations. Every visible triumph is supported by invisible work. There is always a backstory of preparation, struggle, persistence, and faithfulness that lays the groundwork for that one moment of sudden change. Think about a tree. You may see it grow tall and strong, and one season it suddenly bears fruit. But what you didn't see was the years it spent developing roots underground. Without a deep root system, that tree could never sustain its visible growth. The same is true in our lives. The unseen foundation is the season where your character is tested, your faith is refined, and your discipline is established. It's the season of hidden labor, when no one is clapping for you, when there are no accolades, and when your efforts seem to yield little visible result. But make no mistake, that hidden season is not wasted. It is essential. Every prayer you pray, every act of integrity you choose, every sacrifice you make in private is forming a solid base that can hold the weight of your public breakthrough. We live in a culture that celebrates outcomes but often overlooks process. We are impressed by results, but impatient with the slow, grinding work it takes to get there. Yet the truth is that shortcuts may get you to a destination quickly, but without the foundation, you won't be able to stay there. Foundations are what make the breakthrough sustainable. What you build in secret determines what you can carry in public. When you see someone step into success, understand that there was likely a long period where they were faithful in small things. They stayed committed when it felt like nothing was moving. They grew through silent battles and private victories. It's easy to envy someone's platform or prosperity, but rarely do we consider the price they paid in the dark places when no one was watching. Even in nature, we see this principle. Bamboo, for example, is planted and for years seems not to grow much at all. But what is happening beneath the soil is extraordinary. Its roots are spreading far and wide, anchoring it deeply. Then suddenly, when the time is right, the bamboo shoots up rapidly, sometimes growing feet in a single day. To the casual observer, it looks like an overnight miracle. But in reality, it was years in the making. Your life works the same way. If you are in a season where you feel overlooked, where your hard work seems unnoticed, remember, unseen does not mean unproductive. The deeper the foundation, the greater the breakthrough. The time you spend preparing now is storing up a strength and resilience that will carry you through when the doors finally open. It is also important to recognize that God often works in hidden ways. He develops us in obscurity so that when He elevates us, we have the maturity and wisdom to handle it. He protects us from premature exposure because exposure without preparation can be dangerous. When your time comes, you will discover that the silence and stillness you once despised were actually gifts. Spaces where you were shaped, fortified, and made ready. So when your breakthrough comes, and it will, you will stand confidently because you know it was not luck or chance. You will be able to sustain it because you did the hidden work. And others may marvel at how fast things turned around for you, but you will know the truth. Overnight breakthroughs are built on unseen foundations. Today, if you are in that hidden season, stay encouraged. Keep building, keep growing, keep trusting the process. What you are laying down now is the strength you will stand on later. And when the breakthrough appears, it will not only surprise others, it will reveal the depth and stability that only comes from a life built on solid foundation. We live in a world that is governed by clocks and calendars. Deadlines dictate much of what we do, whether it's a career goal, a personal milestone, or a societal expectation. We are constantly measuring our progress against timelines set by ourselves, others, or the world around us. And when things don't happen within those time frames, frustration sets in. We begin to feel behind, as though we've missed our moment or failed to achieve what we were supposed to by a certain age or stage of life. But there is a truth that supersedes every human timeline. Divine timing overrides human deadlines. What may seem late according to earthly standards is often perfectly on time according to heaven's schedule. God is not constrained by the same measurements we use. He does not rush and He does not delay. His timing is always exact, even when we can't see it. Think about some of the greatest breakthroughs and turning points in history and scripture. Over and over, we see examples of people who thought time had run out, only to experience a divine intervention that changed everything. Abraham and Sarah believed they were too old to have a child. Human deadlines told them their season had passed. But divine timing said the promise was still alive, and Isaac was born at exactly the appointed time. Lazarus was dead for 4 days. By human understanding, it was too late for any hope. Yet Jesus arrived and demonstrated that God's timing can reverse even the finality of death. This principle is critical for us to grasp, because many of us are living under the pressure of deadlines that are not divinely mandated. We have allowed culture, tradition, and even our own insecurities to create expectations that God never set. And when those deadlines pass without fulfillment, we feel defeated. But the truth is, if God has given a promise or placed a purpose within you, it is not subject to expiration simply because a human deadline has passed. Don't trust in a calamitous moment. Divine timing takes into account factors we can't see or understand. It considers not just your readiness, but the readiness of the environment, the people connected to your destiny, and even global circumstances. God sees the full picture, and He orchestrates events in ways that bring about maximal impact and lasting fruit. What feels like a delay is often a strategic alignment that ensures when your breakthrough comes, it is sustainable and complete. It's also important to realize that divine timing protects us. Sometimes what we think we're ready for would actually harm us if we received it too soon. God's timing is an act of mercy. He withholds certain things not to punish us, but to prepare us, to shield us from premature exposure that we are not yet equipped to handle. When the time is right, the doors will open, and no force on earth can stop what God has ordained. One of the most liberating truths you can embrace is this: you are not late. You are not behind. You are in process. Even when it looks like others are moving ahead of you or reaching milestones you've yet to touch, remember that your journey is uniquely designed. What God is doing in you may take longer, but it is being done thoroughly. And when divine timing unfolds, it often brings sudden acceleration that makes up for what seemed like lost time. This is why patience is not passive. It is a powerful act of faith that trusts God's timing over human pressure. Waiting well means continuing to prepare, continuing to grow, and continuing to stay ready, so that when your moment arrives, you can walk through the open door fully equipped. It means resisting the urge to force things before their time and resting in the confidence that what is meant for you will not pass you by. Today, if you feel discouraged by unmet deadlines or delayed dreams, take heart. Heaven's clock is not broken. Your purpose is still intact and your promise is still alive. Trust the one who sees the end from the beginning and who makes everything beautiful in its time. Divine timing is never off, never too late and never too early. It is always right on schedule. So lift your head and shake off the pressure of human deadlines. Align your faith with divine timing and watch how things begin to fall into place, not according to human expectation, but according to a higher, perfect plan that cannot fail. Every person on this earth is born with a purpose, a unique assignment that no one else can fulfill in exactly the same way. Your assignment is not random. It is intentional, designed before you are even formed. What many people don't realize is that your assignment carries with it a kind of authority. It commands access. In other words, when you are aligned with your true purpose, doors begin to open that would otherwise remain shut. Often, we strive to gain access to certain rooms, relationships, or resources by relying solely on effort, connections, or qualifications. While hard work and preparation are important, they are not always enough to grant lasting access if they are disconnected from your assignment. You can knock on many doors and still be denied if you are seeking entry into places that are not aligned with your purpose. But when you move in the power of your assignment, the access you need is commanded by the very nature of what you are called to do. Your assignment attracts the right opportunities and repels distractions. It creates a kind of divine magnetism that draws the resources, people, and platforms necessary for its fulfillment. This is why some doors remain closed until you step fully into your calling. The access you are seeking is not granted based on your personal desire alone. It is unlocked when your life aligns with your assignment. We see this truth played out repeatedly. When David was tending sheep, he was not seeking a throne, but his assignment as a future king drew him into places of access he never imagined. He was called out from the fields to stand before Samuel and anointed in front of his family. Later, his assignment brought him to the battlefield where he faced Goliath, not because he was looking for a fight, but because his obedience to deliver food to his brothers placed him in the exact spot where his purpose could unfold. His victory over Goliath propelled him into national recognition and opened doors to the palace. His assignment commanded access. It's the same with Joseph. Betrayed and sold into slavery, he could have believed that his dream was dead. But even in Potiphar's house and the prison cell, his assignment, rooted in leadership and interpretation of dreams, made room for him. In due time, it brought him before Pharaoh and elevated him to a position of power and influence. Joseph didn't chase the palace. His assignment brought him there. This principle is liberating because it shifts your focus from chasing access to pursuing purpose. When you are clear on your assignment, you stop forcing doors open and start walking through the ones that open naturally in response to your calling. You move from striving to flowing, from pushing to being positioned. Access is not something you have to beg for when you are aligned with your assignment. It is something that is activated by your obedience and commitment to that assignment. But alignment is key. Many people feel stuck because they are out of sync with their true assignment. They're trying to force their way into rooms that were never meant for them, or they're pursuing good things that are not their purpose things. Until you come into agreement with your assignment, access will often feel frustratingly out of reach. This assignment also commands provision. Where God sends you, He sustains you. The resources you need, whether financial, relational, or spiritual, are tied to your assignment. Provision follows purpose. When you step into what you are born to do, you will find that what you need begins to locate you. This doesn't mean the journey will be without challenges, but it does mean that heaven backs your assignment. You don't have to manipulate or manufacture access when you are moving in alignment with your purpose. Today, take the time to clarify your assignment. Ask yourself, what problem was I born to solve? What burden do I carry that points to my purpose? Where do I feel most alive, most effective, and most aligned with something greater than myself? When you gain clarity, watch how access begins to respond. Doors will open, people will appear, resources will be released, not because you forced it, but because your assignment commands it. So stop worrying about who is opening or closing doors for you. Focus on fulfilling your assignment with excellence, integrity, and faith. The access you need is waiting on the other side of your obedience. Your assignment commands access. Life often brings us to places where we face closed doors, barriers that seem immovable, opportunities that seem just out of reach, and obstacles that defy our best efforts. Whether in our careers, relationships, health, or spiritual journey, we all encounter doors that appear locked tight. In those moments, it's easy to feel powerless, boxed in by circumstances or blocked by people. But there is a powerful truth that stands firm above every human limitation. God opens doors no man can shut. When God determines to open a door in your life, no force on earth can keep it closed. It doesn't matter who doubts you, opposes you, or underestimates you. It doesn't matter what rules or systems seem to be against you. The authority of God overrides every human obstacle. And when He declares that a way is being made, that way will come to pass. His power is final. His decision is absolute. His hand cannot be resisted. This truth should build an unshakable confidence within you. Too often we waste energy worrying about who is for us and who is against us, about who is blocking our progress or withholding opportunities. We become consumed with trying to please people or break down barriers through sheer will. But when you understand that the ultimate authority belongs to God, you stop striving to force doors open and start trusting the one who holds every key. Look at the story of Esther. She was an orphan Jewish girl living in exile with no natural reason to expect favor from the king. But when the time was right, God opened a door for her to become queen, an elevation so unlikely that it could only have been orchestrated by divine hands. Not only did God open that door, but He also used her position to deliver an entire nation from destruction. What God opens, no one can shut. Consider Peter in the book of Acts, imprisoned and bound with chains between guards. Humanly speaking, his situation was hopeless. But in the night, an angel of the Lord appeared, and every door, physical and spiritual, was opened. The iron gate that kept him trapped swung wide on its own accord, and Peter walked out of captivity into freedom. When God opens a door, it does not require human permission or effort. It moves by His command. We see the same principle in the life of Paul. Time after time, he faced opposition, persecution, and closed doors. Yet, Paul testified that God continually opened new doors of ministry and opportunity, even when it seemed impossible. The very places that rejected him became platforms for the gospel because God's purpose was unstoppable. What does this mean for you today? It means that no matter how long a door has been closed, no matter how impossible it looks, you serve a God who specializes in the impossible. A door that man has shut tight for years can swing open in a moment by God's decree. Where there has been rejection, He can create acceptance. Where there has been lack, He can bring abundance. Where there has been stagnation, He can release movement. This truth also means you can have peace when doors remain closed. Sometimes God's no is just as much a blessing as his yes. A door that remains shut may be a door of protection, keeping you from something that would harm you or divert you from your true purpose. Trust that God knows which doors to open and which to keep closed. His wisdom is perfect and his timing is precise. So stop fearing the influence of people. Stop measuring your future by what others say or do. Stop allowing closed doors to make you question your worth or your calling. Lift your eyes to the one who holds all authority, who opens doors no man can shut. Trust his timing, trust his ways. Stay faithful, stay prepared, and stay expectant. Because when God moves, no one can stop him. When he opens the way, nothing can hold you back. And when you walk through that door, you will know without a doubt it was not by your strength, not by human favor, but by the mighty hand of God that made the way.